What is up, guys? This is Jared Spalding here, and today I'm just going to be making, I guess, a quick video talking about why silver is valuable. Most people understand that silver has value, but you never really stop to think, what really makes this valuable other than the fact that we say it's valuable. And if, we're just determining its value based on what we tell it to be worth, then isn't that the same thing as paper currency, which we're so worried about collapsing? So I think to really understand silver investing, you do need to respect why it does have value, not just to you, but to the entire world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's just jump right into this here. Honestly, there's multiple reasons why silver has value. For one, and this is probably the biggest thing, and that's the whole rarity, and then supply and demand factor. There's usually more demand than supply. At least that's what drives up the cost, and usually that's probably more of the time is the supply exceeding the demand until a large deposit is found, because of the fact that silver is getting rarer and rarer every day. Every million ounces that's mined, it's a million ounces less that's in the earth to be mined in the future. So, it definitely has value because of the fact that it's a limited resource, and the demand is always exceeding the supply, until more is found, and then, we have that much less silver. If you have a mine that has 50 million ounces, that's 50 million ounces less of silver that's, left in the Earth's crust to be mined out, and then, the demand's always going to be there, even if the supply is not, and that's where the value gets driven up. And of course, people are starting to actually stack it and keep it for themselves instead of, letting it circulate through to the big companies who are going to use it in phones and things like that, and then it can be recovered. Oftentimes it is recovered at, by either the owners themselves or, the companies that they sell it to. But when someone has silver in their own private collection, it's guaranteed that it's never going to be circulated again unless they sell it. And all this silver you see right here would not be melted down unless in a crisis situation, because of the fact that there's a premium on all this stuff right here. These 5 ounces, all these 1 ounces, these rounds, all this carries a nice little premium to it. So definitely, something you wouldn't want to melt down normally, but plenty of silver is bought for being melted down, raw silver, and that's the stuff that's going into phones, which can be recovered, but pretty much none of this will ever be recovered again for that type of use, unless, like I said, in a crisis situation, which in that case you're not going to be worried about making, the big companies aren't going to be worried about making phones, you're going to be working about making, so, none of this silver is going to be recovered for phones, and therefore, or never going to be melted down for phone use in that type of situation. You're going to be worried about making basic electronics at that point. So pretty much none of this is ever going to be recovered, and that brings up the demand more for silver, and then the supply goes down. The demand is constantly going up, and then that's one of the things that drives the value. But let's get even deeper into this. Why does silver even have value? What even makes silver valuable? Well, honestly, there's a few things. For one, there's the fact that silver is basically considered money. Without silver, there is no money without silver and gold. But not only that, but also silver has many practical uses. It's the most conductive metal available. Therefore, it is often used in, phones and electronics and things like that. And these companies are buying it up by, tens of millions of ounces, which brings up the demand a lot for it. And of course, like I was saying, some of the silver and gold is recovered, but still not all of it is. A lot of it ends up in landfills. And 50% of silver and gold being mined every year going into electronics is definitely something that, is a figure to look at, because half of all the silver that's being mined was, going to be in these phones that are at least going to be getting used for a year at the very minimum. Most people will use their phone for many years to come, especially a good one. So, even if the silver can be recovered, it's not going to be recovered for a while, so the demand's up there. And then the remaining half of silver, very much of it goes into other things that are not going to be recovered, like vehicles, things like that, where it's never going to be recovered, pretty much. Maybe, be used for engines. I don't know so much about that necessarily, but I definitely know a lot of it's going into your electronics, including the one I'm using to record this video. And so a lot of the silver is going to be going from there. That's one of the demands. One of the big uses for it. Also, just I believe silver is often used as a plate, like not even just silver plating because it necessarily looks nice, but because of the fact that besides tarnishing, it doesn't really react with the air chemically at all. So it can, is oftentimes used in products because of the fact that it is very resistant to many different chemicals and that you're going to find in the air commonly, and so the metal will look nicer. Like maybe, something that's made with like stainless steel might be plated in silver to help it maintain a better just overall look to it. And also, I believe silver is hyperallergenic, so it's oftentimes used in jewelry for that reason as well. As along with gold, they're both can be used in people who have like irritation to normal metals. So it's also used for that reason. And another big use, of course, getting into jewelry here is jewelry itself, both in alloys and in pure silver, mainly sterling though. And also is alloys with gold. If you want to have, because you can't have pure gold necessarily make jewelry because it's going to be too malleable. So you might have some silver mixed in there, just to make it still a decent, pretty nice, not just like have zinc or tin mixed in with it, although usually I'm pretty sure that is the metal, but silver can definitely be mixed in there, but mainly sterling silver will be used in jewelry. That brings up the demand a lot too. Just all sorts of different things like that, especially around Christmas. I think a lot of sterling silver is used, kind of one of like the signature things for Christmas. The holiday season in general will bring up the price usually. So that's where the demand's usually coming from, which is why it's so much higher than the supply a lot of the time, allowing the price to be increased is because of that factor. And that's really what keeps silver valuable, supply and demand, and the fact that we need it. If we didn't need silver, it wouldn't be really valuable, because it's not rare enough to be valuable without being necessary. So if this could be replaced by copper or something like that, then all this right here would fall down in value immediately. I mean, we wouldn't have any use for it. And that's what is keeping your silver valuable. As annoying as it is, when someone might take very valuable set and melt it down, that is what is keeping your silver valuable. And I know some people will buy like these really nice sets, maybe of sterling silver spoons, and melt them down, things like that, just to get them for melt. But that is what keeps your silver valuable, is the fact that people are constantly, using it in ways where it's never going to be recovered again. And then we need more because we want to buy more stuff with silver in it. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And that's it for this one. Peace, love, and much respect.